Spectre rather than playing against it. And I'm glad they took out these like chaotic team fight heroes, the Spectre, the Batrider, the Void. These heroes just it just makes Magnus's job harder, and it also, like, the Batrider and Void are usually pretty good against all these mag partners, the Trolls, the Spins, Slarks.
I was thinking if this is gonna happen or not, because
The Storm?
Yeah, we were talking a little bit of trash of GPK's Storm across all the panels. I won't name any names, you can look it up, but
Yeah, somebody else.
Yeah, but his Storm Spirit before the last series was sitting on 38% win rate in competitive games.
Oh my god.
And now it's sitting on 36. So it didn't go up.
Out of 20 games, I believe, or something more. It was like a pretty significant sample size. This is one, you know, wasn't like a 7-game sample size.
Oh no.
His mid-game item build was way too greedy. He crushed the lane and then went Brown Boots Orchid Bloodstone and just died like 4 times before finishing his Bloodstone. I would like to see just overall less greed with this build. You know, if you get off to that good start, you have a mag, you're going to be the one responsible for getting stuff done. You're going to be involved in every single fight on Storm Spirit, and you're also going to be the first to go in most of the time, so please.
I would be surprised if GPK didn't call for this. He asked for the Storm, because this is also a little bit personal. He's playing versus CIS team. He wants to be the king there when it comes to the mid lane. They take it very personally. And NaVi, they answer it to an Ember. This should be an Ember Storm matchup on the mid lane. It's a skill-based matchup, obviously, and either one of these two heroes can take a victory if they play really well.
The nice thing about Storm here is the 2 supports on NaVi have literally no disables. Yeah, you have the Root from Oracle and the Echo Stomp from Elder Titan, but those are disables against heroes that can't dodge them or, you know, just kill you before you use them, and Storm Spirit is great for that. This
however,
is greed at its finest. Holy crap. When I say greed, it's just Enchantress is really the only strong laner here. Lion, not the strongest laning support. I'm not a big fan of this. It is good against Ember. What are you thinking here, Master Wizard, sir?
That's many heroes that need this gold.
But
And I think their team will surely fold.
Master Wizard, Lion is such a great wizard as well, and he can disable Ember on so many different ways, right? Isn't that something good?
No.
No?
I think they have some serious damage issues on EG. Like, I was already thinking it beforehand. Like, Storm mid-game, he has like this window where early enough in the game, if he gets a good rune, he'll kill anybody he wants. And then once he gets Bloodstone with maybe one other item, like Orchid, he has plenty of damage. But then there's that like 5-10 minute window that I think Alchemist likes to hit pretty hard that Storm will not be able to bring him down. So as long as Alchemist has that space, he has the Oracle behind him. When you have Oracle Elder Titan, you usually want very aggressive cores with them, right? Because they don't offer the initiation. They don't offer the people to run into the fights, and that's what they've got with these 2 cores so far.
When you open up with an Oracle, you're thinking, okay, what are they combining with this? Is it the Troll? Is it the TB? This time, is it the Death Prophet? Something like that. This time, NaVi, they pick a little bit of cheese, let's put it that way, with the Alchemist. It's a really good combination of heroes, and this Alchemist won't suffer versus Storm on the mid lane because he will be on the safe lane, like 99% with Ember playing that matchup. And it is a hero that can carry you the game. Like you said, 15-20 minutes in, that's that huge power spike. However, Storm overall is really good versus the Oracle too, because you need reach. You need a hero that gets in the backlines. You can eliminate the Oracle first and then continue with the Alchemist and the rest of the team. If you're NaVi right now, you definitely have to think about big, easy lockdowns, some point-and-click stuns, exactly. And you can see EG, they ban out the Sand King right now. It's something that they're aware of, that NaVi needs a lot.
A lot of mag partners banned out. The Anti-Mage, the Sven already. Lifestealer, pretty much unkillable by this NaVi lineup. Slark comes to mind. The only hero that really threatens him is ET. And they banned out the Beastmaster, so they're afraid it's maybe an Arteezy mag, which I have seen him play in pubs. So he's definitely practiced it, and he definitely considers it like worthwhile considering. But I do believe carry mag also... He doesn't have like the sustained damage it takes to bring down an Alk. I usually like the carriers like the Slark and the Lifestealer that don't mind just kind of manning up on you and bringing you down over the period of time.
If you're thinking about EG, you're most likely expecting a carry last pick. At least most of us are expecting that. And the Beastmaster is a little bit of a weird. And for NaVi, perhaps they've screamed, perhaps they've seen something we haven't. in the last few days.
Slardar. I actually like that ban too. It's kind of gonna even out the playing field with Empower. You know, one carry has Empower and minus 20 armor, and the other carry doesn't have anything. So you kind of, you know, plus negative 0 numbers.
Yes, that's a thing. Plus negative 0. Of course.
Plus negative. We're pretty much thinking about Pasha's offlane, and they go with an Omni Knight.
Hell yeah, my boy!
I mean, it did happen yesterday. Secret did pick it versus a Magnus. It worked well, but Papi did say he wasn't quite sure if Omni Knight was the reason why it worked, like why the game worked overall for them. Because there were some other lanes that went really, really well for them, and they just snowballed.
When they picked Omni yesterday, the opponent team banned Alk in the last round. So clearly Omni Alk is a respected duo.
They go with Ursa. This is a lane that should do quite well versus the ET and the Omni Knight. And also another thing is, what's really good about Omni here
Holy woly! Sorry, those odds. I just saw those. That's a big differentiation there,
almost
boys.
5-1.
Goodness gracious!
Yeah. You have 2 saves on the side of NaVi. You have Oracle and you have Omni Knight now with Alchemist. It's going to be incredibly difficult for Storm to jump in the backlines and eliminate one of these targets, because you're going to have a triangle of Oracle, Alchemist, Omni Knight saving each other, or the Alchemist whenever necessary.
Once they picked the Omni, you 100% had to have another burst damage hero than just the Storm. Like, Lion is lockdown and Finger is quote-unquote burst damage, but against Oracle, I don't think that's really reliable, because not only do you have the ult to save, but also your second spell just makes them do no magic damage. So, Storm Spirit jumps one guy, Ursa jumps the other. Lion can maybe lock down the saves, but I think EG's the better team. I think they'll execute their draft better, but I fear for NaVi in the laning stage. Ursa's pretty damn good against Omni. Alchemist doesn't really threaten anything, so Magnus, a greedy offlaner, should have a pretty good time. Storm, even though he doesn't love playing against Ember in the mid game, pretty much free farms that mid lane too. So I'm afraid that this window where Alk is maybe 1,000, 2,000 gold from Radiance, he's just not going to be able to hit any creeps.
Right, raise your hoods and call it, wizards. I want to see the hoods on as you make your guess. Wait a minute, hold on. A flashback before one more thing to think about.
You need to solve Alk as Gambit now. It's the one thing, I say this almost every time there's an Alk in the game. When there's an Alchemist in the game, I call it an Alchemist game. And what I mean by that is
that's really creative. That's
okay, let me explain. Okay,
2020, sorry.
Holy shit, mind blown. No.
Rich still freaking laughs about that every damn day. He just mentions it randomly.
All right, people.
Do we go with an Alchemist game, or do we go with a 36% Storm Spirit?
It is an Alchemist game, but it is not his game to win. So I'll go with EG here.
Very well. Well, maybe you at home has found the secret histories of the magics indeed. We've no more time to discuss the mortal realm. Take us to the fields of unending carnage. Toodaloo, enjoy the game. We shall return. Zazaran!
Thank you, Slacks. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's EG versus NaVi here for the best of 3. I'm OD Pixel, joined by Jenkins for this series. And what do we reckon? We're getting some sort of new heroes. The Omni Knight coming into play, something that we aren't really seeing any team touch.
No, we talked about it a bit. You said it. It's definitely solid against the Magnus. Puppy said it himself. It's a good Magnus counter. Good against the Void. Excellent with an Alchemist. It's a hero debuff to give the strength to a strength hero. So if there's a game for it, this is the Omni Knight game. I actually like Navi's draft here.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see it in practice and see what the Omni Knight can do. I mean, this is a thing, right? In sort of the metas, when a hero becomes incredibly popular, like the Magnus, do you think there are sort of like hidden answers that the teams just may have not touched because the hero, in a sense, and in the way it's been nerfed or balanced, isn't great, but it actually has a lot of potential against these heroes that are starting to crop up at high popularity?
Yeah, 100%. Like I honestly think this is how the meta shifts, is through competitive matches like this. And what'll usually happen is you hit a point where, and I'm concerned that it might happen in this game for EG, where it's like you have this Ursa as a counter pick to the Omni to beat it in lane, and then maybe Ursa just sucks. Maybe Ursa's just worse in the current meta than Omni is in the current meta. And I mean, they're not even laning the matchup that they want.
The battle begins.
Omni is bot.
Going to start with the Alchemist on the top lane with the backup of Immersion on the support ET. Ilias as well, we'll see where he'll settle. I mean, do they sort of start as the tri lane with the pressure? I mean, Omni Knight on his own down here, is he happy to solo lane for a bit?
Yeah, definitely. Omni will be fine. See, what I'm concerned about is the Alchemist. You know, people would pick Ursa as an answer to the Alchemist, and so you're aggroing with him. So they're very confident that these supports can basically win the lane without any help, because Alc doesn't really provide much, to be honest.
Oh, here we go. In the mid lane, Young G on his Ember against the GPK Storm. We've seen GPK have some pretty impressive performances so far. Storm the other day, though, was off to an explosive start, but did start to fall flat in his face, so we'll see what he's able to do with it this time round. Top lane, aggression onto Immersion, and that's going to find them first blood there, EG. As Immersion getting a little too close, and sure, they've got a tri-lane on the aggressive NaVi, but the tri-lane of EG is also very good at turning and getting kills itself.
Yeah, man. Oh, Ilias, too. I don't think Crit has the stun up. Still, a lot of harass. I mean, like you said, like this is a hard lane to play into. I mean, Ursa's a hero you would pick previously to tri-lane. Now they have an Enchantress with a creep, with a Wildkin against 2 melee heroes. Man, this is tough. And then Lion's a stunner. I mean, how can you go wrong?
Yeah, we'll see what NaVi is able to make happen with the idea behind this tri-lane. At the least, see if it's able to secure the farm at the moment. It doesn't look to be it. He's only got 1 CS, and again, Immersion stepping forward. Swipe start to stack up. He's going to be fortunate enough to not be in the reach of a crit and a stun this time, so he will live. But we're seeing already the farm for Arteezy, 8 for 3. Only 2 CS on Crystallize. Jump over towards Immersion. Will be saved there. And he's able to remove the slow from the Earthshock, get Immersion out of it. But it does seem to be a rough start for this aggro tri-lane of NaVi.
It does, but, you know, Beast Coast is a team that actually does this frequently. And I think one thing you can take solace in is the fact that you always have the triangle to stack for the Alchemist. Like, he can always back up to that and just go farm. Like, he's right by the best place on the map to farm as a carry. So, worst case scenario, he can go there if this lane goes extremely south, which it's pretty rough so far.
On the bottom lane, of course, with all the action being up here with the 3 versus 3, we get this 1v1 between Pasha and Ramses. Mag and Omni Knight. At the moment, we're seeing Mag having the CS advantage, and sure, Omni's still farming, but I guess this is expected. What with the Empower, Magnus is going to have the better time and the easier time at getting the denies in this lane.
Yeah, I think a big thing there, too, is just that Omni is a relatively weak hero. Oh, Alchemist, be careful, buddy.
They got the stun into the Hex Fly, heading over with the Impetus as well. Trying to run Crystallize out of this one. Can they save him? They can't. Ilias cannot hold back Arteezy in time as he finishes Crystallize off with an Earthshock. And this top lane just going from bad to worse for NaVi.
Honestly, I respect the decision. I think it's a very interesting choice to try to go for this. But I think if you're EG, you're very confused. You're like, they're aggroing with an Alc, but we have an Ursa. Like, we would maybe aggro into them. I think you're very stoked about this if you're an EG fan.
Oh, it's easy. Getting the free farm for now. And as you said, we'll see if they do start to create some stacks for Crystallize, start to build up that recovery mechanism for this Alchemist that is struggling so far in these first few minutes of it.
Yeah, and they haven't really been able to stop this Enchantress from getting her creeps. Usually, if you can block the camps, you're fine. She's not that big of a deal. But with Elder Titan dying so early, she just has free reign on those camps.
Mid lane, at the moment, pretty even CS between Young G and GPK. Slight lead for GPK on the Storm. 23-4 against the 19 for 2. Fly. Found in the river. Ilias and Immersion will try and chase him down. They do hit him with the stomp, see if they can get position for the further bit of burst. Fly pops the Fairy Fire. He's also going to have another one in a few seconds. And even at that, he's able to get out of reach of the 2 of them. They just can't kill the Enchantress. This is the power of the Enchantress, right? It's a very hard kill to find. Doesn't matter, just level 2, just popping the heal, walking away. Unless you've got a significant amount of burst, Fly's going to be able to do that every time.
Hero that loves building Fairy Fires and has the early stick as well. He was holding the charges, so really not much of a kill threat there, and he knew it. So we do have level 6 now on Young G. He can't, or sorry, he's level 5 actually. I'm crazy, but he will have level 6 soon. And both of these heroes are relatively decent at rotating. I think we're going to need to see that more so from the Ember Spirit here to break down this game.
Oh, look at this bottom lane. It's actually started to go pretty one-sided now. 35 and 11 on Ramses compared to the 18 of 2 of Pasha. This mag just nearly doubling the farm.
Oh,
Do have the
man.
stats coming up, but this is going to be scouted out by EG, so they know the status of this area of the map.
if EG can take these stacks.
They've got the mag, haven't they?
They've got the mag, and they have a storm as well. Oh, man.
And Navi's got to protect these or clear these up sometime soon. It's going to be hard, though, with the low levels on Crystallize. Just the 1 point in the spray right now.
There's going to be a big fight for these stacks very soon. This is the entire game plan for both teams at the moment.
You think there's no way that EG just let this go?
No, absolutely no way. And I think Youngji knows that too, so he heads over.
Yep, he's going to be able to push Crit out of the area. Crit will turn with the stun. He's going to look for the denies. The creeps won't be able to make it. Ilias takes him out with the final Purifying Flames Duke.
Okay, so still saving it for the Alk. I was thinking maybe the Amber Spirit's going to take it just to prevent EG from getting it, but I think Alk needs the help. Crystallize is having a rough time. He really needs to get those stacks, and honestly, maybe even take solo XP if he can. Get that level 6.
GPK also able to get lucky with the power runes. DD will be his. They're looking at Youngji. There's no vision on the high ground, and Youngji's playing far too close to it. They're going to open up with the initiation from Crit. He's got the Remnant out in time, though. They didn't quite have enough control. Youngji is able to make it away there with the 1 charges and the TP back to base to refuel his bottle. Well, that was living on the edge there, Youngji. It looked like he was a goner.
Very close to disastrous, especially because there's a siege creep mid, so they just take the tower if he dies there.
There we go. EG starting to push over towards these stacks. That stack's been already brought down a little bit, so GPK could actually clear this pretty easily with a few remnants. As Arteezy, GPK, and Crit, EG, they're going to be able to get the lion's share of this stack.
Yeah, they know. They know the strat, you know, the Beast Coast Classic. This is exactly what Beast Coast do, except a lot of the NA teams, the SA teams, won't contest like EG will, but, you know, EG, they sniff this out.
Now looking towards Crystallize. Arteezy and Fly, they're not going to want to dive in, though. Still knows backup sitting behind him. Bottom lane, Ramsey's getting gone on. Get the skewer off, popping the RP as well, just to make sure that further purification cannot come out from Pasha, as Ramses will be able to keep himself alive because of it.
Man, he is so farmed on Magnus. I did not think this was going to be such a Magnus-favored lane. Like, Omni typically destroys melee heroes, right? So I think it just... There's definitely a player skill difference there that's happening, as well as Magnus has just been buffed, and Omni Knight has been weak for a long time now, so... Not the great laner that he used to be, with the low cooldown on his Q.
We'll see how NaVi can find ways to pick Crystallize's game back up. He's going to head to the jungle and the top lane. Now with Arteezy having the serious levels, level 6 on the Ursa, it's a very scary place for the Alk to be. He's sort of just got to stick to the jungle now. This is going to give a lot of space for EG to make the most of the 3 lanes. And maybe look for action as well. They're going to try and go in with a grab on Youngji, but Immersion's there. Keeps him covered safely with the stomp.
I thought Ilias might die for that, but... Now, Crit doesn't know what he's walking up into, so he doesn't want to be too aggressive. Just farming now.
Now we'll see GPK going for that straight Orchid Rush again before the bots. Feeling that he's having a pretty good opening to this game, so just getting that silence online before any sort of defensive items are complete by the cause of NaVi.
Very greedy build, I would say. Definitely super punishable, but with how the game is going right now, they definitely have the space for it. Both of these 2 side lane cores are almost impossible to push out of lane.
So Youngji and Ilias coming out with the smoke movement. They'll find Crit, and they will take him, and Crit is going to make him work for it. In fact, Crit with these disables is buying time. There are 2 more members of EG over here. They're not actually going to come across, and as it is, Youngji and Ilias just don't have the control to kill him. They will turn and look towards the bigger kill instead, though. Ramses, with the skewer across, gets them in the stun. Ramses should still fall here, and he will do so. Ilias, with the Purifying Flames, they will actually end up picking up Crit as well. GPK's going to look for the cleanup in return. Turns over towards the Ilias kill and will find it, so gets 1. See if they can get anything more here. GPK with a bit more mana left to play with, but doesn't want to go back in onto Youngji, not knowing what could be hidden behind him. But all things said and done, NaVi actually able to find a big kill on Ramses, just coming a little too close to the action. Whilst he was very low on HP.
Yeah, a little surprising. He was kind of playing like he had more backup. I mean, between a level 4 Lion and Magnus without RP, they don't have much damage, really. Like, those are really beautiful double stuns from Crit, but still playing 2v2, and I think the NaVi 2 are a lot stronger.
Obviously, 10-minute boundary was coming up. Youngji and Immersion, making sure that GPK is not able to get the refill on these. G. So I'm going to go and try and grab this. Yeah, we'll be able to do so. Extra space made there by Immersion with the stomp. And Build-wise this game, Youngji just going straight for the Yules. Who sees that Oblivion Self out, and GPK knows that he needs some way of removing that silence ASAP.
So they have a DD on GPK. I think this is probably the time to consider going for a smoke. I don't think you want to let Alchemist farm like this. Not when his game was so rough in the early game. They might be waiting for an item. They might be waiting for like Blink on Mag, maybe the Orchid on Storm. But very soon they want to start pressuring, I think, on EG.
Yeah, they've got the drums done on RTZ. He's very ready to run at Heroes. His mid lane as well, Fly and GPK with the DD, making some pretty quick work off this tier 1 tower. Quick dodge of the stomp. Youngji has come in to start to build up a defense with Immersion. See if there's enough to push GPK away. GPK wanting to make sure that they can find that last hit on the tower. He's going to be able to get it as well. Tower down on the mid. More money into the pocket of GPK, which will continue to push him very close now towards the Orchid.
So normally, you don't really want to take these 2 towers as your first 2 towers in the game, but there's an Alchemist on the enemy team, so you want to take those Ancients away. You want to take the Triangle away from him, because that is the last beacon of hope for a team to farm, and that's all you need as an Alchemist. You farm there for 10 minutes, you're huge. So this lets them now move into the NaVi jungle, like you would in a typical game, and then Alchemist doesn't even feel safe in his Triangle.
Elias, he's going to step over to see what's going on around here, but there's a lot of members of EG. He's got to be a little cautious. Immersion now joining forces with him to try and push EG out of this area, but as we've seen, they've already cleaned up all 3 camps. They'll start making the move as the 3 of them. As Ramses, again, with this early farm that he has, very beefy on the Magnus, can just show up in lanes, not worrying too much about any members of NaVi doing anything about it. Yeah, to protect that rune, it's going to be a regen. One of the dream ones here for GPK. We'll see if he's able to make some sweet plays with it. They're actually going in onto Youngji. Youngji, he's going to throw out a Remnant. See if they want to try and chase this. The Impetus will do a little bit of damage, but nothing to threaten him too much. Ilias also by his side, so no dives to come in, but still just controlling NaVi. EG continuing to keep all 5 members here just farming aggressively on NaVi's half of the map.
Right, once again, I really love this play to... Oh, I hear Storm.
I think he's just going for creeps.
Oh, he's just killing some creeps. Oh, he's got the regen, so he's using his mana. I really love their call to just stay in the triangle, because think about if you're an Alchemist in this game, you're farming your own jungle. With those 2 towers gone, like you feel like you're out in the wilderness.
It's so tough for the out. And look at these 2 deep wards as well from EG, having one in the jungle, one over towards the entry point of the triangle. Like, they're going to be able to catch these movements. It's so hard for the out to get out and farm without EG knowing exactly where he is. Crit will be rushed down here. NaVi able to make the jump with this smoke movement. Fine crit. Obviously not really the ideal catch. And
the space.
It's space and a half. It's easy now with the Aegis.
EG is just playing so fast, honestly. Like it looks like Crit is running in and dying, but this is something that every top-tier support says that people don't do enough and that you should do, is sitting there and soaking smoke ganks. You know, and he's done it twice now. And just make them work for it with double stuns, with spells.
I see bottom lane. GPK instantly out on the map and ready to start making plays with that fast Orchid.
Very, very good way to kill both the Alchemist and the Omni if they're out. I think both of these heroes have so much effective HP. Without a line, it's basically impossible to kill them without that Orchid. Gives him a lot of options for killing people if he gets that.
They do at least have a few saves, NaVi. As long as Pasha or Ilias aren't the ones getting gone on, they'll have some methods of keeping the target of EG alive. Have a nice rune here for GPK, grabbing the Arcane. So now with the Arcane, the Orchid very ready to go. And a little bit of an adaptation to when we saw GPK play the Storm the other day, went for a greedier build. They did suffer, they did lose that match. This time Orchid straight into the BKB at the moment was what he's got queued up. He wants to make sure that he just doesn't, he can continue to play aggressive with this the Orchid rush without the threat of feeding his life away.
BKB definitely makes sense. I feel like not going for treads is just innately greedy, but BKB, if he just goes in on the Oracle, it just sets up for the Magnus to hit this huge RP, because he's going to be so disruptive. Youngji? Crit can't solo kill him. There's no way.
No.
In fact, I think Crit's probably going to die here. They see the career.
Oh, no.
Oh, there's a Mango Tree, actually.
See, Crystallized getting saved here by the False Promise. I mean, Very hard for Na'Vi to really get a catch onto EG's members until Youngji comes over. Doesn't want to go with the slide chains onto Fly. He's going to turn over towards Arteezy, try and deal with him instead, but Artor pops the ult. Status resistance, meaning that there's no chance of Na'Vi committing onto him for those few seconds. Crystallize, he's still sticking around to try and farm it. Fly, able to come over, takes that big creep away. As EG again just sort of terrifying Na'Vi and pushing them right back towards their base.
EG, once again, is doing such a fantastic job at always just running at where the Alk wants to farm and taking farm away from him. Like, you don't see anybody on the EG side of the map farming. Because if you farm versus an Alchemist, you can have 10 Midases, and he's going to farm faster than you. That cannot be the game plan versus an Alk. You have to take farm away from him.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I don't know when the last time a neutral creep on EG's half of the map died. They're just playing fully in the faces of Na'Vi. And look at the warding. It's just the amount of wards and sentries on Na'Vi's half of the map that EG have placed down. It's just made it a real nightmare for Na'Vi to regain any sort of control down here. Down bottom, find the opening onto GPK. Silence is going to come out onto the AT to stop the follow-up stomp, but it's not going to be enough to stop GPK from going down. Na'Vi with a big catch here on the stomp.
Yeah, he really has no way of dealing with getting just instantly chained by the Ember, and he doesn't have any effective HP right now, so he just dies to that. So getting punished a little bit for the greedy build there. Alchemist finally has his Radiance, but not much of the map to farm is the problem. That kill does help.
Yeah, and where he does farm, he's going to need to have backup constantly close by.
Radiant structures are fortified.
As we see, tier 2's now starting to get pressured by EG. Arteezy still got time to work with the Sages. Full Greaves done on Ramses to really buff up this fighting potential of EG right now.
I've always been a big fan of this build ever since, I think it was like Seb that did it first way back in the day, where you don't go for like the immediate blink on the offlane mag. You just play to 5-man, you play to fight, and it's like, well, I'm gonna hit an RP because you have to fight into us because we're running at your towers. And then eventually, of course, you do need the blink, but this is just really nice for 5-manning, which is exactly what EG wants to do. They want to take towers.
Well, mid lane. Attempt to be made onto Fly. Crit gets out the stun, but straight away, Pasha buffing Youngji up, allowing him to continue chasing onto Fly, but the heals are too strong with the silence on the Ember. Youngji cannot commit any further.
So the 5-man of Na'Vi does seem like it's a little bit difficult to break just because they have so much save. I don't think they can kill EG, but I think they can survive EG. As long as Ramses isn't there and doesn't have his blink. He has a casual glove faced. I wonder if he's actually going to turn that into something. Midas would be very interesting.
I would be surprised. I feel like that was probably just one bit picked up in the laning stage early on, right?
Yeah, probably. Maybe he was going to finish the treads, and then he's like, oh, you know what? This is going to be a really good mech game. It's going very well. Let's 5-man. Let's take towers.
Yeah, it's just one of those things as well, right? It can feel like if you are going for the Greaves, you just miss that attack speed. You know, that little bit can make all the difference for just the feel of the hero.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Smoke up for Na'Vi.
Always crit, man. He's always standing in front. It's so annoying.
They just can't. They can't catch EG off guard in this situation. Smoke's put to an end. EG moves over from the bottom lane towards the middle. This is where the last tier 2 stands for Na'Vi. I mean, we see these games as well where a team very quickly gets like one tier 2 and it's like, damn, they can go for the outpost. They got it before the 20-minute mark. In this game, EG's borderline taking all 3 of the tier 2s before the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, very not common, but you know, once again, I think it all goes back to that aggro try lane. Just generally, if you fail an aggro try, it always looks like this, no matter what, because you have no recourse. You can't go back to the safe lane and farm because there's a huge Magnus there. You can't throw 3 under-leveled heroes against a huge Magnus and expect it to work. Like, aggro tries are very hit or miss.
EG. Let's see what they can catch with their smoke. We didn't see Na'Vi have too much luck with theirs. We'll see if EG has a better shot. Youngji on the front. Blind Smoke will dispel. Actually going to turn Crystallize, trying to move in onto the Enchantress. The stomp catches the 2 of them. He'll throw the stun the way of Arteezy. Stop Arteezy from getting on top of Immersion. Arteezy and GPK turn over towards Ilias. The GA has come out. Will give some safety for now for Na'Vi, but now with the GA coming to an end, EG are just going to push on. The stacks building up on Crystallize as Arteezy commits with the BKB. Alchemist saves at the final moments by the false promise, but Ramses comes in with the RP onto the 2 of them. Crystallize, he's taking a lot of damage through this false promise, so we'll will almost certainly pop at the end of it. No, the heals were enough, but the Purification Crystallize does live for a little longer, but finally falls to Arteezy's Earthshock. Stun for crit, catches the two of them. Immersion's gone. Youngji, Pasha, and Ilias, can they turn this around? The Ember is being saved for now by Ilias. Youngji will be healed. The Purifying Flame starting to kick in. Youngji will remain alive. Ramses is trying to chase and hunt him down. There's no remnants left on Youngji. With the phase boots, he's got a fair bit of movement speed to continue to run away from this. TG, Shockwave, won't catch him here. They'll find him with the slow fly. With the enchant. Youngji, 2 seconds till Remnant. Can he get his way out? Go for the self-heals, but didn't throw a Remnant out before he went up in the heals. That Remnant coming after as he misses the opportunity to maybe jump away. And will mean that he does end up going down at the end of it all.
Just everything on cooldown for him there. But man, that fight just proves to me, like if I'm in this game and I'm EG, it's just like, okay, we have to focus the Oracle. That Oracle out combo, how many hits of Fury Swipes do we see Ursa?
That's what it was like the temp static, you know, they were building up real time.
Blow him up, get him out of here.
Oh, but the heals. Ilias, he's going to be saved. Pasha's able to come in with the safety, and now GPK has committed a lot of mana for this. The root's going to fly over. Crystallize building up the concoction. A GPK with the bottle charges and the one charges will have enough to get away. Stomp out onto crit, but no follow through.
Man, this double save lineup with the Alk is looking like it could possibly be enough in this game.
Okay.
Dude, especially with the Heaven's Halberd coming out too. He is going to be a pain to kill because remember, that amplifies his regen with an Oracle who also amplifies the regen.
And look at Arteezy's build because of this. He says, right, I'm getting Nullifier, right? Is that the plan here?
Yeah, I guess so. Nullifier, what does this take off here? I guess the Guardian Angel? That's
GA?
The GA.
That's the big one, right? It's going to allow him to at least continue doing damage through the GA.
Yeah. I think you could take off maybe like the Oracle W, the Oracle Q.
You take off the Purifying Flames.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true. That's true.
So there's going to be no constant heals.
Right. No heal whatsoever. Actually, I think that's probably what it's for. It's probably for mostly the Purifying Flames and the GA. Yeah. It's a good nullifier game. It's like it's weird at first just because it's like, well, the Oracle ulti's still going to work obviously, and so is the You can't nullify the Omni W, but I guess that's also true. If the Omni puts his W on somebody before the nullifier's not going to last any duration.
No, right?
Because the status resist.
The status resistance the buff would affect the duration of the nullifier.
Yeah, so who goes on who in this game matters a lot.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how much effect it does have. I mean, you can definitely feel it. I feel like it's going to do something, you know, for Arteezy without a doubt. It doesn't mean
100%. Yeah.
And you know, especially when the team fights, it's not a 5v5. You find someone alone, the nullifier will be able to tear them apart.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you jump the Oracle with the Orchid and then just jump somebody else with Arteezy with the nullifier, I think that's a very solid way to play team fights.
I've got the full ether lens on Kritzer. And now an additional way to try and get the catch on these backliners, these heroes with the saves.
God, Fly is just playing so aggressive here. They're afraid though. They know he's baiting. I mean, who stands this close without a full team behind him? But he's kind of on his own. He's just bluffing.
Yeah, Roshan's up again. So EG quickly moving into the pit. See any lineup with an Ursa with this sort of lead. It's not going to be contested at all. Very quick Roshan, which will push Arteezy rather close to having that relic. It's about 1,400 to go, and it'll be there. Cheese for GPK and Aegis for Arteezy for this next fight.
It's the nice thing about having an Ursa on your team, or it can actually be a downfall as well. Like if you take Roche so early that early on into the game you get these like Refresher Shard, Cheese Roches, where if this goes the other way and Navi takes the next Roche, you're going to kind of regret having an Ursa on your team.
Dire are scanning.
Let's see if the smoke from Navi can find anything. It's going to be difficult though, fighting into the Aegis and Cheese. Youngji maybe seeing if he can find a snipe on the back lines. Crit. Not going to be found. Youngji just backing up to the base, ready for the high ground defense. Arteezy popping the ult. Hold him in place for now with the sleep, but he's out of there. They got what they came for. Tier 3 tower taken down at the 24-minute mark. NaVi are trying with the chase. You'll set up from Youngji. Arteezy continuing to run. Pasha buffing up Crystallize, but EG already backing up and no further way for NaVi to chase. They do have the Blink Dagger on Crystallize, so an extra bit of follow-up, especially if Youngji is able to get in with the slight chains. Crystallize will have a solid chance at following up with a full duration concoction.
Yeah. It's been a while since this concoction build has been popular, but I suppose with the recent buffs, I think both of the concoction talents got buffed, and maybe the spell did too. So I see why it's coming back to some degree. Oh, he's going.
He's going to try for Ramses. Leading in, if they got the damage to take him out though. Ramses able to skewer off in time. The root holds him in place. Crystallize punching desperately, trying to bring him down. One more would do it. Can he find it? He can. The Radiance burn damage will get the kill. Now Crystallize having to pop the ult and start a retreat. Another concoction beginning to cook up. Crystallize gets it down to Arteezy. Arteezy popping the ult. Status resistance will remove the stun pretty quickly. NaVi continuing to try and fight up, and now he turns. Wants to go in onto the Alchemist, but in fact the Alchemist just turns and goes on a win. That's Arteezy's Aegis gone. NaVi, can they do it a second time? There'll be a buyback from Crit. Now they'll start to retreat. Crystallize's ult coming to an end. Arteezy moving in with the Nullifier. Crystallize is going to be saved for now by the Gia, but the Nullifier does persist and take it off it. He's going to continue to run, able to blink off to the side, throws the concoction out onto Crit, but GPK with the BKB, he's starting to clean things up. They turn back over towards the out. Crystallize has the chemical raid, but now it finishes, and he turns. The ult from Immersion, though, it comes down through the entire team, crashing through them all. GPK, enough mana to ball out of there, but Young G, he's on the chase. Another Remnant now. He's actually going to be able to close the gap onto the Storm. Crystallize in with a blink. They've found GPK. NaVi, they're fighting back hard. They were down at 11k, but coming in there on the mid, and again, it's as you said earlier, you were like, you know, does this potential of the out just being consistently buffed by the Oracle and Omni Knight have some sort of power that could allow them to do it, and it did. They couldn't kill Crystallize, even with the use of the Nullifier. I'll be honest, it did look underwhelming. It didn't seem to do much at all for Arteezy in this fight. It didn't really help that much at all against the Alchemist with all these constant buffs and saves coming out on him.
It's too much. It's too much, and you have the status resist of the Heaven's Halberd as well, right? So that's going to reduce the effect of the Nullifier. You have the status resistance coming from the Heavenly Grace. There are just too many saves, man. And NaVi also, kudos to them, man, because they are...
Yeah.
They're not just using them. Like, they are really baiting EG into going on this Crystallized Alchemist here.
Yeah, this is some insane stuff from NaVi. I mean, again, you know, their whole map being controlled by EG for pretty much the entirety of this 20 minutes that we've just seen. They were behind 11k whilst having an Alchemist. So, you know, that 11k deficit is even greater because you have an out. You expect to have inflated net worth with that hero.
Right.
And now they've managed to punch back at EG pretty heftily.
It's a good draft. It's legitimately a good draft. Ursa is seeming extremely underwhelming. GPK just seems like he's constantly out of mana, constantly running away. The Bloodstone will help, but man, it's not what it once was. That item.
Yeah, the Oracle Omni. This combo. I mean, what's the plan for EG? Just absolutely have to find these two heroes at the start of the fight? It feels like if you don't, you're just never going to kill the cause.
It's one of these games where if this is a pub, there's literally zero chance for Dire to win. Because you have to execute team fights so precisely. I think they need to catch Oracle or Omni in an RP without Heavenly Grace, and then either Crit or GPK jumps the Oracle. Like, they're going to need to execute 2 backline jumps simultaneously, but NaVi is doing so well at staying far apart from each other and putting the Alchemist in the front. And also the Ember. Young G, he's always in the front as well. He's being very annoying. He's catching the Storm, forcing the Storm to use his mana.
Oh, this will be a freebie. Easy kill for Crystallize, set up there by Young G. And Young G in all sort of the control that EG has had playing on their half of the map. You know, Young G, he's not been caught out. He's only died the once this game on the Ember. A very, very solid performance from him.
Absolutely, absolutely. He's kind of functioning like a little bit of a bait for the Alchemist. Like, he made a lot of space for this hero early, and it looked kind of funny, but naturally that's going to be how it looks when you're making space for somebody, and it's paying off.
And you're a fan of this as well? You saw just there, Immersion, he's more than halfway towards his Aghanims on the ET.
Yeah, that's a nice item. I think Aghanim's ET is just something that's been straight up overbuffed in the past. Having that BKB on obviously a much lower cooldown than the actual BKB it lets him disrupt. It lets him be so annoying in these team fights, and he wants to put his body in there because it gives that physical reduction.
Ramses staying very close to NaVi here, but no vision down from NaVi. Still EG having the superior ward control in NaVi's jungle. will get away with this, and they'll be able to make sure that 30 minutes in, again, they will hold control of both outposts, EG.
I am seriously concerned for EG in terms of, I don't see where they get the damage to kill this Alchemist.
Sure. Like this Alchemist has absolutely got all the tools to just carry this game right now, Crystal.
Absolutely, because, I mean, he's getting more and more farm, right? He's going to out-farm you, right? So by the time they get the items to deal with what he currently has, he has 2 more items. Now he has the space to actually farm. So it's not like the early game where, okay, they're just snowballing and so they can kill him. Like, how does an Ursa get the damage to kill him if he's not already killing him? Like, Monkey King Bar? Rapier? It's on an Ursa. I don't know how great that is. It's looking tough for them. They're going to need to get some really nice pick-off, I think. That's how you fight this, is you don't fight it. You just go pick-offs.
Considering, how the game's gone so far, 30 minutes in, do you think, Na'Vi as a side, did they sort of, were they ready to sort of lose that early game and fall behind as much as they did? Do you think this is a strat that Na'Vi has and has worked on that is built to deal with those sort of deficits and come back into it?
I think they probably didn't want to lose the aggro. I think they probably expected to do better in that. But I think the value that they put on giving the Omni Knight solo XP, it is clearly paying off. Like, he is doing so much work saving in these fights. And if he was just useless because he was against an Ursa...
Crystallize. He's going to come in, the Lotus Orb out in time. Arteezy's popped the ult. Root comes out afterwards, though, into the sleep. It's a long hold onto Arteezy. They're moving in onto the Ursa. And they lock it down any further. Arteezy has to put the BKB in retreat. He's got to run.
So does a level 3 ult. Now that that's been nerfed, if you do bait out the Ursa ult in the early levels, it can be a place for you to make a play because it's got such a long cooldown now. But the BKB, that's a big deal here. If he has that on a, if it's only lasting 5 seconds, it's a lot easier for the Alc to kill the Ursa. Like, he was, man, Arteezy's looking mega useless in these fights. He cannot do anything. He is not doing any damage.
It's just so hard for him to find a target. Up in the river, set up onto GPK. He's out with the root before the root hits him. The Lotus Orbs will certainly assist here as Ramsey's, just as we see with the build, he's starting to go for as much as he can to keep his team alive. The Greaves, the Lotus. There's the build for Immersion, though. The Ags is now complete. So, now Immersion, he himself, he's definitely not an easy target for EG to go on. As we said already, they're probably going to be considering Pasha and Ilias higher on the list of who they need to find. But this ET, he's just going to be sitting in the fight, putting up a lot of damage, having magic immunity, and just walking around punching everybody, and obviously offering so much up with the Aura and the Earth Spinner.
Oh, man, if they can get... Oh, he blinks it. Okay.
Ramsey's quick reaction. Can they punish this out? They're going to try. GPK zipping in. He's looking for the backlights. Pots the BKB, goes straight away onto Ilias. He's not going to be able to finish him off, though. Ilias able to sneak out to the side with the infinite. GPK turns over towards Crystallize, but you can feel it. EG know they cannot kill this out. They're starting to have to back away. Arteezy pots the BKB. He'll turn and try and punch into the Crystallized Alchemist, but he's having to use this BKB again to retreat. He's having to run. He's got to get out of it. This Na'Vi will continue to chase him. Skewer from Ramses. He's trying to find an opportunity for an RP, but the bash comes out. Ramses is out. Crit just hiding and hoping they don't find him. Crystallize, he's hunting for more. Arteezy's out to the side. It's just EG. They're just running away. That's all they can do.
Oh, my God.
He's going for the chappy.
Oh! Crystallize! Oh, my God. He actually survived.
He's away.
Are you serious? I can't believe... Oh, dude.
I mean, but this is just EG on the run. They just have to run away.
Yeah, man, this is definitely Navi's game to throw. It seems like EG does not have the tools. Like, they're going for the Oracle now. They're going for the Omni Knight. Like you said, they know they can't go on Pasha.
Yeah, as soon as the start of the fight doesn't result in Ilias or Pasha dying, EG's... we have to get out. We can't fight.
Yeah, but even if they get out on one of them, it's like the one saves the other, and now they have Glimmers, and they have Halberd, and they have this Aghanim Scepter on their Elder Titan, so he can run in and he can be disruptive, like they couldn't focus him. It is seeming very rough, and I think if you're EG, I legitimately think you probably question the Nullifier pick after this game. You think, okay,
it's just not done anything.
It hasn't done anything. I think maybe it could have been... an Abyssal, maybe it could have been a Monkey King Bar for more damage because they clearly lack damage, but it has not felt useful. Like, Arteezy has not had a single good fight in 15 minutes. I mean, EG hasn't, so of course Arteezy hasn't.
We'll see what they can do with this smoke. EG, I mean, they're running straight at this. NaVi, they've got all their ults ready to go on the high ground. Young G just outside of the edge of the vision. Arteezy heads in. They'll jump to the side. I mean, NaVi, they're grouped up as 5. This is a hard fight for EG to start. They do have the high ground with the smoke, but NaVi are prepared. They're again just moving around the map, grouped up as 5. How do you even penetrate this team? You just can't get to the back lines.
They ping it out too. They know exactly where EG is. Like this spot is literally called the fly spot. Like the pro players refer to it as the fly spot because he's so well known for making this call to fight around it. And so they ping it, and it looked like they were maybe going to go in there with the Alchemist going first, but they just say, you know what? We know they can't fight us. Why fight into them? Like, let them come to us. They can't fight us as long as we stay as a unit.
And NaVi just holding strong as the 5. The net worth back to even now as NaVi just continue to swing this game further and further towards their favor. Crystallize. He's ready to charge and goes in with the jump, looking to blow up Fly, gets the stun on the boat, Fly and Arteezy flies out, Abyssal Blade onto Arteezy, can they save him? He's able to get the ult out, jumps to the side, looks for Pasha, he's ended up chilling on the high ground. Ramses comes in with the skewer, RP, it's only going to catch Crystallize, they just don't have the damage to kill him. We see GPK turn, try to deal with Ilias on the backline, but Ilias, he's able to get the false promise off in time, he'll survive. EG's lost 2, they've got to bail, EG's got to run yet again. As this whole game has just been EG running away. 3 of them won't make it as Young G comes in with a slight triple kill for him. I mean, the frustrations have got to be high on EG. They must be sitting there asking each other, what do we do? What can we do? We can't do anything. And Jenkins, you know, I sort of laughed at you. We're like, oh, one of the downsides of Ursa, killing Roche twice, you give the chance for a quick Aegis or Refresher Shard Roach, potentially the enemy team. But you're right, Jenkins, that's exactly what's happened. 36 minutes in, NaVi, they're able to easily get themselves to 3rd Roche.
What do they get for this? This is a refresher?
Let's have a look what it drops.
Aghanims.
It's
Okay.
Aghanims.
Global Ags ult. Okay. I thought they were going to give it to the Omni, but for Ember, of course, this is a fantastic Ags. I mean, he's doing so much in terms of disrupting these fights.
Young G.
He's breaking smokes. He's running in, getting fights started. He's going on the back lines. He's protecting he's protecting Ilias. Like, him having the Ags is not going to make this any easier for EG. It's safe to say.
No. I guess that's the thing as well, you know, with the positioning of NaVi, they don't really need the Ags on the Omni because they're always together as 5. They've constantly been just in a position that's just not allowed EG to do anything. EG cannot fight this squad.
Nobody is ever alone, but they're far enough away from each other that they're not getting double RP'd or double stunned. Because I think, once again, going back, the way that you need to execute this fight is... okay, actually, I think this is Navi's Mango Tree. I'm pretty sure it is. Or is it EG's? What's the vision at? No, it's not. Okay, so it is EG.
It's
I see. So that's an interesting little spot that they're using that to play around. Like, at this point in the game, that's a really good spot to... I mean, you would hope that the game doesn't go this late against an Alchemist, right? You'd hope to have won this game so far. But anyway, going back, I think if you're EG, you have to simultaneously initiate on the Omni and the Oracle. And NaVi has not let that happen a single time.
They just... Every single fight has just been perfect for NaVi. I don't know what necessarily is about it that's meant it's been impossible for EG to ever start with the pickoffs that they want to, but they just haven't. I mean, that last fight we saw GPK, he got close to killing Ilias, but he was the only one on him, and Ilias, he was able to get false promise off on himself, and at that point, you sort of committed all your mana for a kill that you didn't get.
And Fly is dead. Yeah, I love how they're playing as a unit, but not so much of a unit that the Magnus is just hitting these crazy RPs. Like, we literally just saw Crystallize get RP'd in the last fight.
And it didn't matter.
That is the worst possible hero because he's got all of the status resist. He's got all of this regen. He's got 61 regen, and he doesn't have his ult up. That's insane.
But what are you going to do about it?
Absolutely nothing.
They've got to do something. I mean, he's taking this tier 3 tower down. I mean, maybe with some sort of deep skewers, they can get him in deep, away from the backup. But he's just taking the base right underneath their noses. EG, what are they going to do? This is the melee race going. Is anybody home? Here we go. Skewer. In onto the Alchemist. They're trying to drag him back. Again, the save's there. I mean, they know. They just can't go at him. There's Crystallize. He's just taking this Rax. And EG's got nothing. They've got nothing to stop it.
Courier! Oh, boy.
Wait, how did the courier end up?
He just runs... Arteezy runs a golden Roche into him.
Peace offering. Yes. Please, have mercy. Oh, take the chicken.
There will be no mercy in this game. None at all.
Wow, 12k lead now for NaVi. I mean, honestly, Jenkins, it looks impossible for EG. It looks impossible.
It does. I hate to keep saying it, but it looks really, really hard. Oh, man, they need to do some crazy smoke wraparound. I think at this point, it's not even about simultaneously initiating. I don't think that's enough. A pickoff would be a nice start.
I mean, Young G gets gone on. He'll just start running them. He's got the Aegis.
That's something, you know, that's more than they've been getting for the last 25 minutes of this game, so I think EG's probably happy with that. Goodness gracious. Yeah, you need to hit some sort of miracle reverse polarity in order to win this. I don't think it's enough to just execute the team fight decently. That's not enough.
And it really, this strat from NaVi, this draft, it seems very impressive. You know, they have very little control in the early game, but they brought it back, and now they just look untouchable. To the stage that I imagine in further drafts against NaVi, you're not letting this squad having Alk, Omni, and Oracle together. Otherwise, you know you're going to be in for a very tough time.
You know, at the end of this game, I wanted to say, you just can't pick an Alchemist against an NA team. They know how to deal with it. Everybody in that region is obsessed with Alchemist. They know how to deal with heroes that are farming. And EG did that. But you know what they don't deal with? What they can't deal with is the aggression that is coming out from this Alchemist. That is something you don't see in North America. He is right in. He is always in the front. That is not a North American style Alchemist right there.
Now, Crystallize just having full trust in his team. Just able to charge forward and just continue to take these things on the map. I mean, EG, they're sticking together. They're hanging around Arteezy top. They're just not able to accomplish anything right now.
I'm sitting here looking at this, and I don't even think they have enough damage with a 5-man RP to kill everybody in the RP. I think they need a refresher if they want to kill people. A pickoff though, that's a good start.
See if they can get the jump. Looking towards Immersion. They'll lead him with that Hex. Crit having the extra cast range now that he's hit the talent. They'll go with another fire onto Immersion, but Crystallize, he's already just jumping into the back lines. Ramsey's tries to screw away, but Crystallize is back up with the Abyssal. Takes out Crit. Now they'll turn over, but Pasha, he's saved again. The false promise comes out onto the Omni Knight, GPK and Arteezy. They're trying to beat into Crystallize. Crystallize just starts to punch back. Arteezy's BKB about to come to an end. They will manage to kill off Pasha. Crit comes in with a 2-man step, but the Star Splitter from Immersion catches both GPK and Arteezy. Arteezy's out for 100. GPK as well. Ramsey's trying to run, but Crystallize and Young G chase him down. The stomp from Immersion catches him out as Young G and Crystallize head in to finish the kill. Triple kill for the out. Crit, he is not going to get out of this one, as Young G will have the means to chase this down for sure. As Crit, he'll try to hype with the Glimmer, but the slight change finds him. EG just getting destroyed in every single fight now for the past 20 minutes.
Man. NaVi coming into this game, proving everybody wrong.
Dude, you gotta check those odds on this game. It was something like 5 on NaVi.
Somebody made bank on this game.
There's a very happy NaVi fan out there
very
right now.
Happy. Goodness gracious.
As well, they couldn't do anything when they have 5 alive on the bottom lane, EG. They're probably not going to be able to do anything when they have 1 alive. As NaVi take a second set of racks.
Feels so hopeless at this point. At this point, you're honestly just talking about the next game. Honestly, I think you can probably just throne before Arteezy's alive here.
Yeah. I mean, a buyback comes out from Ramses. They do have the fortification. Quick slight and change stops Ramses from being able to try for a blink skewer opportunity. As Crystallize just continues to look to close this one out, takes the tier 4. They'll give a little bit of respect to safety as big zip comes in for GPK, won't find a catch. I mean, I think if you're NaVi, you probably know that you've got this one in the bag. Do you want to end it quickly, or do you want to make this one hurt for EG? You want to draw this one out?
Yeah, I think you go for the psychological damage for the next game.
That's the big play for NaVi now. Just take your time.
I cannot foresee a future where EG doesn't ban Alchemist. I don't think they want to get Alked again. This to me just proves that NaVi, like they know how to play this hero in and out. Like, a lot of teams will just feed relentlessly when Alchemist falls behind.
Yeah,
when he doesn't have a jungle.
This lineup just looks incredibly well rehearsed from NaVi.
It does.
an exact 5 heroes that I imagine they've been hitting up in scrims, and they know exactly what to do. Just the team play, it's flawless from NaVi here.
It's like they're an AI, and they're all, it's one sentient being playing all of the heroes at the moment, at least for the last 30 minutes. Don't think anybody expected this, especially after how the lanes went.
Yeah, I mean, you saw that in the win probability. This game, at about 15 minutes in, was about 70% for EG, and as we talked about, it was 20 minutes in, EG had taken like all the tier 2 towers.
Dude,
like they're sort of the stats on teams that lose that much map control that early on, but are able to pick it back up and just dominate the second half. Like, this does not happen every day.
Has been killed.
It does not.
And the fourth Roche.
Fourth Roche with a DD on Alchemist.
I mean, I feel like it's, if you're EG, what do? You just let this go? Or do you just throw your lives in here? I mean, if you're not going to stop this Roche from going down, when are you going to stop him?
I think you have to try to steal the Aegis. I don't think you can fight. I think you legitimately go for the Aegis steal. Like, that is your only play here.
EG charging in Ramses. He's going to look to skewer the Crystallize out outside of the pit. Crystallize gets the ult off in time. Silence down to Pasha. They found the Pasha with the silence, but they just don't have the damage inside the pit. Roshan goes down with Young G. He's able to pick up the Aegis. He's down for 100 seconds. No buyback. The chase here from NaVi, forcing EG away from the pit. The stomp will catch out Ramses. GPK is all the way back to base, but Ramses will be left behind. They tried for EG there, their last option, and they'll tap out. GG is called, as NaVi, with a spectacular showing in this game one, just leave EG in a position for that final 30 minutes when